Today, as you can see over here, I have some crazy notes. So today on the crazy channel of Who the Heck Cares, I'm going to talk about something weird that happened to me yesterday because this is the kind of crap that happens to me. Okay, so for some reason, in my thinking about trying to solve some issues having related to some questions from the gospel, I ended up starting to think about Tyre. I know it started by remembering the Tyrensians were the people who taught the Masons how to really build the cathedrals in France in the Renaissance. Anyway, and that led to me thinking about Bernard de Clairvaux and Scotland and a bunch of stuff having to do with all that stuff. The resisting of the Crusades. And I thought, wait, Tyre, why do I know anything about Tyre? What's so familiar about that? And I started thinking about it and trying to think, well, was Tyre in Galilee? Am I making stuff up? This is weird in my head, right? It just comes out because, like, I supposedly remember this stuff. And then I was thinking about the carpenter from Galilee, and the whole issue of whether people from certain sacred bloodlines who were priests, when they weren't being priests because they were hanging out with their wives so that they could have kids, they were professionally they repaired things. They were carpenters. Yeah, anyway. So, and I thought about, wait, I remember from Civ 1, whatever, Tyrian purple, right, that's a thing, and that was, didn't the Roman senator, there was something about dyeing things with purple stuff, and didn't it come for Tyre? And I thought, that's kind of interesting. I could learn something about it on the internet. Too bad my cable's out. My cable was out because of the storm. So no way to research it. Well, that's great. Maybe when I have the internet back, I'll do something about it. And my husband comes in and he really needs to talk to me and whatever. We ended up talking about how long there's been diving helmets. This is the kind of stuff that only happens to me. My husband had to talk about people diving underwater. Okay, he had to talk about it, and then he had his very strong opinion about when the diving suit was invented. Anyway, it's not important whether he was right or not. The point is, he's like, I got this book, and I can go find the answer. So he goes to find the answer, and he looks it up in the book, and he starts reading out to me from the book. And you know what? Seriously, in the book, he reads out, most early diving was done for military reasons. Alexander the Great used divers to remove obstacles that had been sunk in the harbor at Tyre, which he had taken after laying siege to the port in 332 BCE. And I was like, oh, fuck me sideways. Seriously? Okay. Okay, tell me there's no God when I was thinking about something as obscure as Tyre. Okay, Tyre. I don't have a map yet, but okay, so anyway. So it's like, you know what? I never loved history class. In fact, I hated it a lot. But Civs was okay, but straight off history, I hated it. And so I would only research costume. So I thought, maybe in my costume books, I should be able to find some weird references in here to this, because it is about clothing, right? It's about what people wear. Dye, right? So it's going to come up. And I did. I found it discussed in my 20,000 Years of Fashion book, which I didn't bring in here. It talks about the Israelites wearing textiles that were woven in Egypt, and Syrian flax cloth sold in the markets in Tyre. Okay, so there's a connection right there. And then it talks about the different kinds of dyes that were available at the time. And there were two luxury dyes, scarlet, often mentioned in the Bible in the reference to ritual clothing, and purple, an essentially Phoenician product from Tyre. Okay. Page 54. 20,000 years of fashion. It's very important to know these things, apparently. So, I'm going on further. Yes. The industrial wealth of the Phoenicians and later of Carthage. Hold that thought. Wait, who did the Carthaginians fight with? It was the Romans. Right. It was based on the manufacture of glass, precious metal work, and above all, the redeemed Tyrian purple with its full and glowing color. So it's important to remember purple, right. It comes up in the Bible too. It's funny, okay? Maybe not funny, not surprising, but try and pay attention. Just wake up a little bit. They'll talk about how yes, this thing about the shellfish, I remembered that thing, it's real. It had to do with the Cretans and some crushing up some poor helpless shellfish for, anyway. People eat snails. People eat clams. It's a thing, okay? And they have shells. Anyway. So, but it got obviously very difficult to create in quantity if you're going to try and sell it to large quantities of people, right? So the procedures were lengthy and laborious, and the price of purple was extremely high, so we can imagine the delight felt in Phoenicia at the discovery of the islands in the Atlantic beyond Gibraltar. Okay, now we have sea peoples, right? Phoenicia, of the islands Atlantic beyond Gibraltar, the Azores, with this ample source of the dye from which the Tyrian chemists had been searching for so long. And it's a lichen, which is obviously very reproducible, and a dragon tree whose intense red resin provided scarlet dye. Okay. A huge tree whose most famous specimen on the island of Tenerife was believed to be 6,000 years old. Okay. Why is it always comes back to trees? Like, really? Really? Okay. What is... Okay. Purple. Scarlet. At Carthage, I got Phoenicia. I haven't gotten any further than that. I have found information about the creation of the state of Galilee. Okay, that it was Celts migrating. They split into two groups. One went to Ireland and one went down, took part of Rome, or hung out very close, and then made it to Galilee, right? But of course, by then it was eventually retaken by Rome. But you're talking like, which side is the Carthage side? Which side is the Rome side, right? It's a thing, right? And then finally I found this thing about the Goths. But anyway, it's not related. I'd love, if anyone cares, other than me about Tyre, that we can find out more about it. But it clearly has something to do with the women arrayed in purple and red and what that means symbolically. It certainly has something to do with religion in general, in terms of the availability of these dyes and where they come from and who has them. Where it's going to go yet, but I find it hilarious that I live this life where information literally comes to me and I don't know what to do with it.